The final step that I wish to cover is how to share attributes from one color correction or one scene to another. Now in this case we have two cameras set up with two very different settings, so it's not quite perfect. But one thing you'll notice is that this is a pretty simple fix, that once I have one clip color graded, color corrected, it looks the way I want it to look, I can share this correction to the two additional clips and get a very similar result throughout my a series of clips, especially if they're shot from the same camera. So in this case, two different cameras, two very different settings, one a very shallow depth of field and one a very deep depth of field. So a bunch of different camera settings obviously taking place. But in this case, what I want to do is Command C, copy, as though you would copy and paste this clip, and then come over to the clip that has been uncorrected, and instead of just simply pasting it, we're only going to paste the effects that we've made. And the effects, color correction, falls under an effect, and so what we can do is paste the effects. Now you can get that same option with Control Option, actually it's Control Command V. So again, shortcut, keyboard shortcut if you want to follow it here, but in this case I'm only doing it once, so I'm going to paste effects. And I got a pretty good color match considering these cameras are using very different settings to generate the footage. And one shallow depth of field, very high f-stop, very low ISO, and actually a super high shutter speed in order to compensate for the extremely bright image with a high f-stop. And the other end we got a very low f-stop, a middle of the road ISO, actually a low ISO, and then also the shutter speed is very normal, and you got good motion blur. But very different clips, again with a very similar color correction, and they look close. I'd probably still have to fine tune it because the camera settings and the cameras themselves are different. But if you're doing this within one camera, I think you're going to end up with a pretty good quality shot, or a reproducible color correction for numerous shots.